like this very, very difficult in America to live an adult life without being a hypocrite.
Absolutely.
You can't, for instance, right? You can't complain about crime and complain about the police at the same time.
No.
You can't complain about the ability of the police to carry out their duties in the safest manner possible, but then being very, very like liberal about the discharge of their service. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing the work, you can't tell somebody else how to do the job. We would like to, that's utopian thinking, right?
Definitely. It's a lot of that in the left too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of utopia. Well, it's in the right too. That utopian thinking.
Yeah, we know it's a human thing. You know what I'm saying? But we're only gonna go so far. And I say this: you got to use the logic that you would tell your children. If you wouldn't tell your children to go do something stupid, then why are you encouraging it? That's why I say the only thing that holds adults accountable is the children. And you're starting to see other states pass laws that the Parent Accountability Acts. I think one's in Georgia they're working on. And that's one step before, you know what I'm saying, they have to do something else that's kinetic.
Yep.
And what you're seeing in DC is an indicator that it could go that far in other states, because if it happened in DC, it's modeling something for those other governors, because those red state governors that supported Trump, he's basically signaling to them, hey, if I got to do it, I will.
Right.
Because in Texas, you know what I'm saying, we got Greg Abbott, and I don't think he would go that far. I don't think Texas will ever get to that point, because there's too many people with guns here, way too many.
Right.
But DC, generally speaking, doesn't allow people to have guns.
Yeah, you can't have guns in DC.
So him test driving that, you know, like a lot of people that's trying to move around DC with a weapon on them, they taking a chance, you know what I'm saying, every day. You know what I'm saying? You get with a gun on you in DC, that's one of the worst places to ever have a gun on you.
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? And that makes me uncomfortable anytime I go to DC, is the fact that I cannot hold my gun, you know what I'm saying, while going to DC. You know, the fact that, okay, I'm vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? At this point, you know, I can't carry, you know, or conceal anything, you know. Even conceal, you can't see it, but it's like you said, it's still the potential that something may happen to where you may have to use it. And at that point, well, you wasn't supposed to have a gun in DC. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, you know, and that's why I tell black people, I tell my black family, there's a reason why you need to be a Second Amendment lover. You have to be a Second Amendment advocate, because, to be honest with you, that's the only thing that holds these people at bay. The fact that, you know, they won't do this in certain spots, like you said, in Texas and in Georgia and places like that where black people have a whole lot of guns, they're not going to do it, because at the end of the day, like, we just got a lot of guns at the end of the day, you know. So it still would be a victory on the military side, no doubt, because they're more trained, but it will be a harder victory. You know what I'm saying? Because every household damn near has it. For you people out there that do not have firearms in your home, at this point, you're crazy. You're seeing what's happening. You're insane. So when they come if they come knocking on your door and they want you to come get in this paddy wagon, what do you have on your person that can defend you from getting in that paddy wagon? You know what I'm saying? You have to, like I told you this before, you have to be ready to die over your freedom.
Yeah, especially if you live in a state where like gun laws are already an issue, you know.
Right.
If you live in a place if you live in one of these red states, like I said, like in Texas, this is a whole lot different. You can say, hey, look, I'll be back. I'm going to the store. You can go pick up some toothpaste and a pistol.
There you go. And same thing in Virginia, pretty much.
On the same trip. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
when people said, you know, this may come to your front door, nah, They know which places to go and which places not to go. DC is an easy place to take over because, like you said, most civilians in DC don't have guns. You know what I'm saying? Let's take the UK for an example, right? And seeing what's happening in the UK right now, it's pretty much being, I don't know if this is the right word or not, but Arabized, you know, to the point where it's being overran by Arabs. And the people of the UK don't want that. But the thing is, they have no way to defend themselves from their government. So the thing is, the government is forcing it on them. And I'm not saying anything bad about Arabs, but I can see how they feel about that. You know what I'm saying? If you're shipping a whole bunch of people from war-torn countries over here to the United States, and
glad you made it this far. First thing I want you to do is go ahead and click subscribe. Make sure you like and share and support, and subscribe to the notifications. Then when you get here, I want you to click the podcast link. You see that? Then I want you to go over there to where the arrows are pointing to the Beyond the Algorithm playlist and subscribe there. That way you get all of the updates. And now we'll continue.
These people are doing crazy stuff to you, women, and doing all this. You want these people out of your damn home. You know what I'm saying? But they can't do anything about it.
I'd like to see where they're sending them, though, in the UK, because West Britain has notoriously been the place where a lot of the political radicalists that fit what you're talking about in that propaganda profile.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy named Nasser Wassalam that used to be a political prisoner, and then he was radical like that. And then he got locked up for 2 years, and he came back out preaching against it. He'd gone to Pakistan.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Name is Nasser Wassalam. He was on a 60 Minutes interview, you know.
Right.
I never forgot him. And then there's a book called Agent Storm, written by this dude named Chris Mortensen, who was a triple agent. He worked for MI5, MI6, which is both foreign and domestic British intelligence. And then he was an agent from the Danish organization called PET, and then he's also worked as a triple agent with CIA. And when he got most of his radicalized training in West Britain, that's where I know a lot about, you know, like from the book itself, you know what I'm saying, comparing different perspectives, whatever, right? And Chris Mortensen, Agent Storm, was used by CIA, co-opted, or, you know, so to speak, to try to knock off this guy named AAA, Anwar al-Awlaki. And he was the guy that was supposed to be the next one to replace Osama bin Laden, because they already have the next number one identified by the time they have the main target knocked off. And he was the one that set the trap to get him knocked off. You know what I'm saying? Because he was traveling back and forth to Yemen to befriend him, get close to him, so they can knock him off the right way. So a lot of the stuff that's happening where it comes down to being radicalized and extremism is happening in West Britain. So that's very interesting that if the UK is starting to complain about it, I'd be very interested to see if it's progressed from being just the western part of the UK.
It's all of it now. It's all over now.
All over, you know what I'm saying?
It's all over now, because I mean, at that point, those people over there are seeing their lands pretty much overtaken by people that don't look like them.
And I think this book that I read came out in like 2012. So, you know, and Nasser Wassalam, he did his interview with 60 Minutes probably like in 2006 or 2007. So that ought to tell you like the gradual progression of, you know what I'm saying, and incrementally in 5 years, that is way much further along than what we think.
Yeah, it's way more further. Like you can look that up on YouTube, and there's plenty of different stories, news stories, and everything that's talking about this. And you can see, like I said, the people are revolting against it. But the thing is that they just have no way to defend themselves from their government. So this is the reason why. And like I told you before, you know, though we have our complaints about the United States as Black people, though we have those complaints, still no place I'd rather be. You know what I'm saying? Because I can literally say, to heck with my president. You know what I'm saying? I can talk shit about your religion. I can talk to whatever I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And I can be okay. I'm not going to get touched. I'm not going to get arrested. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and it's a beautiful thing. It's definitely a beautiful thing. If I'd have to say anything, when we talk about the two political parties, you know, whether Republican or Democrat, I would say that the Democrats were inching more to censorship than the Republicans were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They and that's what lost them a whole lot of votes, is the fact that people are looking at, oh, wait a minute, I'm slowly but surely losing my freedom of speech, which is the First Amendment. Like, wait a minute, there's a reason why that's the First Amendment. You know what I'm saying? And then you see, you got to think about who made, you know, who made these amendments. The First Amendment is a freedom of speech, freedom of religion, of course. And then, like I said, and other things. And then you got the Second Amendment right behind it, freedom to bear arms. That tells you that those people back then knew that the government
radicals.
It was written by radicals. The government might turn their back on you or might turn against you. You have to have a way to fight back. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. Like I said, and I'll never hate America for that. But like I said, I'm seeing what's happening in the UK, and nah, you couldn't pay me to live in the UK right now. This shit going crazy. It's a powder keg waiting to explode, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they always have mass stabbings because they don't have any guns, and people still, you know what I'm saying, ended up getting attacked, you know.
Right.
And there's two things that need to be discussed that's about what it means to be underneath American government.
Mm-hmm.
And the Constitution embodies the spirit of the law
mm-hmm.
and the letter of the law.
Right.
The letter is black and white. It
mm-hmm.
means what it says.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit is the means in which you interpret it as it is relevant, you know, meaning that you can't come into situations with a Jim Crow mindset in post-racial, well, in post-segregated America. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work that way. That is the letter of the law being enacted, because that's what they argue for American politicians and American government to lead by the letter of the law.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit of the law comes into when you bring in certain people that have a way of interpreting the black and white to their political agenda. You know, that's when you get people that intentionally, you know, misinterpret and embolden the wrong people so they can radicalize whoever they want to radicalize. And that's for the right or the left, you know. And that's why politics is the conversation that determines if the letter or the spirit of the law is more important.
Absolutely. Well, man, we're about to go on to an hour here, so go ahead, wrap it up, man. What you got to say about this whole situation, man?
Man, you know, I say police your children up before the government start policing you up.
Hello.
It's short and sweet, you know. Glad you made it this far. First thing I want you to do is go ahead and click subscribe. Make sure you like and share and support, and subscribe to the notifications. Then when you get here, I want you to click the podcast link. You see that? Then I want you to go over there to where the arrows are pointing to the Beyond the Algorithm playlist and subscribe there. That way you get all of the updates. And now we'll continue. Like, truthfully,
don't let the government be your kids' parents. And just like the gentleman said at the beginning, when I showed that video, he said it's a damn shame somebody got to sit in the classroom to make sure that you doing the right things. You know what I'm saying? It's a damn shame that the people in DC let things get so out of control that you got to be babysat. You know what I'm saying? You got to have overseers looking over you because you let it get out of control like this. Nobody to be mad at but yourself at this point.
Yep. And then the other part too, to harken back to the title, don't talk down on your ancestors that marched for your freedoms, that endured whatever persecution that they endured, and say y'all sitting back saying things like, you know, we not our ancestors. Hell, you're not even the parent that they were to their children.
You're not even a 25th of our ancestors, because all these people did was show up in Humvees. Your asses went in the damn house. Our ancestors put up with dogs being sicked on them, with fire hoses being sprayed on them, with getting shot at, crosses being burnt in the front yard, and Klansmen by the thousands marching down a damn road. And our ancestors stood there and went through all of that. You know what I'm saying? So we are not our ancestors. What kind of disrespectful shit is that? Like, that don't make no damn sense. You damn sure ain't your ancestors. You ain't got nowhere near the strength of our ancestors. Nowhere near. You know what I'm saying? So let's stop acting like we something that we ain't, for real.
Especially with the culture rooted in a lack of decency across the board.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it both ways, you know.
Mm-mm.
So it's another example of it, man. But it has been a another good episode, and I greatly appreciate you coming through. And you know, hey, we'll see you on the other side.
All right, homeboy. All right.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right, folks. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm, because that's where life actually happens.